right, so we've only done like a few miles so far, and where I'm leaving from, it immediately goes into hills where you're just climbing and climbing for miles. The temperature is just slightly above halfway, which is actually normal for this thing. But I am starting to see that gas needle is starting to move. What I do is when I'm going up hills, or it's going to be shifting up and down, I drop it down to third. Once it flattens out, I get it to drive just to keep the temperatures down a little bit. And then you can also turn the heat on if you need to get the temperatures down as well, just to be safe. I have calculated this, and I had once I plugged it in and checked the temperature exactly, and it was off by like 3 degrees will make it go up to almost 3/4 of the way. So it doesn't take much, it just shows different. But even in the manual for the Hummer, it shows the needle at 3/4 of the way, so it's normal. But yeah, so when I need to, bring it down to third and let it go, just be easy with it. And I haven't had an issue yet. I towed this thing all the way here, pretty much downhill majority of the way. It did have a couple big hills. We'll get to those in a few hours, and yeah, we'll definitely update with that. But yeah, let's keep going. All right, guys, so we have made it across the Arizona, from California to Arizona border. I waited to get across here to fill up for gas because it's much cheaper over here. So it was like, I think 30 cents cheaper, 20 to 30 cents cheaper to come across the border than to fill up over there. And I'm down to about a 1/4 tank, so I had enough. So I made it out of California on just, I mean, more than a tank. We've gone 169 miles as of now. So we'll fill up, and then I'll do a little calculation. We have to remember that I did have about 7/8 of a tank when I started. So we'll see what we get to. All right, while this is happening, it's a good time to go down and check straps, especially if you're towing. You want to check your straps just to be sure. I mean, it's gone almost 170 miles or so, but it's good practice. I mean, you're supposed to do it with tractor trailers. I think you're supposed to do it in the first 30 minutes, but it's like a, those straps, they expand, the strings do, so it won't hurt to go over there and give them a little tighten down. Like, I folded in the mirrors like it was gonna help me in my miles per gallon, but I got this big table back there sucking up all my gas mileage. All right, so 46.71 total, which isn't really any bad. All right, so we did the calculation for 169 miles. We use 17.564 gallons, and that's a whopping 9.62 miles to the gallon. But yeah, like I said, it was a lot of that was uphill. Like, so I was doing like 45 to 50 in some areas, and I had to go down to third gear and just ride that out, take it out of overdrive. But yeah, hopefully this will get me home. But we'll get back on the road right now. All right, guys, it's only been a little while later. I've done 96 miles at this point. I wanted to stop now before I get into Phoenix, because the cost of gas in Phoenix is probably about the same as here, but I don't have to go through all the traffic and on and off ramps with the trailer if I don't have to. So I'm filling up outside of Phoenix. This is fill at number 2. Hopefully this is the last one. All right, now that we've hit some flat ground, and I'm still going about 75, 80 miles an hour most of the time, cruise control, dropping it down to third when I need to drop it down to third, and then putting it into regular drive, overdrive, any other time. And I'm still averaging 11.89 miles to the gallon. When I went to California, I was driving a lot slower, because I had never towed that far with this vehicle, and I was getting like closer to 14. So yeah, I'm getting ballsy, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, we're almost done with the trip, and see you at the end. All right, so for some of you guys that don't really know me that personal, if I drink a Monster, I gotta pee a lot. So I didn't have to stop because I had over a half a tank, but I chose to stop and I chose to just fill up. I'm in Casa Grande, which is like 70 miles from Tucson, but we filled up anyway. It was another 8.8 gallons, but I'll do the calculation real quick. So actually, this is unintentional. But I did exactly 100 miles since my last fill up. So we'll divide that by 8.857, and we're getting 11.29 gallon, or 11.29 miles per gallon. Again, going 75 to 80, pulling. I did not have to shift it out of overdrive. I just kept it in regular 4 the entire time. It only downshifted a couple times when it was coming up a hill, trying to catch it back up to a speed when I had it at cruise control. But I guess the average is about 11 miles a gallon while towing. But we're almost there. Once I get there, I'm going to fill it up, unload the car, and then drop off the trailer tonight. Hopefully tonight if I'm not too tired. But yeah, let's get back on the road. Alright guys, so it ended up being the next day that I unloaded the car, Same way that I took it or put it on the trailer, I just backed it up, pulled my pieces of wood out, and then put them on the two bottom pieces, the ramps, and then I backed it off, and I had no issue. It just got really late. I planned on taking it off when I got home and returning the trailer last night, but I rented the trailer. Unfortunately, I had to rent it for 3 days. I didn't need it for 3 days. I had it for less than 24 hours. But now I'm about to go back to the gas station right next to my house, and I'm gonna do the final calculation on my miles per gallon from like Phoenix to Tucson. I still got over a half a tank, so we'll find out what that is and find out that gas mileage. Going from Phoenix to Tucson is a little bit of an uphill, so it might not be very high, but we'll see. All right, guys, so I just did my final fill up on the on gas. The last one was the one from Phoenix to here, and it was slightly uphill, and it was a little bit of city driving as well, and the total was 9.89 miles to the gallon overall. So yeah, it tows, and it goes at speed but at a price. So if you slow it down, I typically tow at like 65, and I get way better than this, but I was in a rush. All right, guys, so I'm finally home. Finally made it back to the garage. Everything's unloaded. Car where it's supposed to be. The Hummer's here. I got some cleaning up to do in the garage before I can bring the car back in. But yeah, it was a trip. Hummer did well, I think. I was kind of scared the first time when I brought it to California. And then as I was coming down the hills into California, I was like, man, this is going to be a trek back up to get out of California, the hills, coming through like Coachella and all that. But it did great. Went slow up the bad hills, and it made it, pulled strong, held steady speed. I had a good trailer this time. Usually you'll get a terrible trailer from U-Haul because they're like tires unbalanced and it's maybe been in a wreck or whatever. But this thing pulled straight. No problems. I was actually informed that because California needs trailers, when I rented a trailer to tow my car there, it was like $65, and coming back it was $100 and almost $80 to bring it back because they don't need trailers here. So I paid for 3 days, and I used it for just the less than 24 hours like I stated before. But yeah, so thanks for watching the video. Hopefully you liked. Consider subscribing, and I appreciate it. Stay awesome.